Hi, my name is Ashanti Daughtry. I'm going to be your counselor for today. I just want to, before we get started, show you that I am qualified since we're doing a session over online. And I also wanted to let you know that due to us having confidentiality issues and confidentiality matters. I do want to let you know that your information that we do discuss during this session will be confidential unless you do alert me that you are suicidal or planning to commit any future acts of like violence towards a person. But anything in your past is covered. So how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm really glad to be here today and be talking with you today.
Why did you come see me today?
So, um, so I had the most tragic event of my life happen 3 months ago to the day today. So on May 23rd, um, I came home from work. It was a normal day, during the work week. Came home, was planning on cooking dinner, and I walked into the garage, and my 16-year-old son, I found him laying in the garage in a pool of blood. He had shot himself. And I can't get past this. And I'm just not sure I'm going to be able to just continue on. I just can't stop thinking about it. I can't stop thinking about what I saw that day. All of the feelings that I'm just overwhelmed by my feelings. I'm overwhelmed by um, anger. I'm overwhelmed by sadness. I'm overwhelmed by guilt and why, what could I have done to prevent it? And I'm just kind of lost. And a friend of mine recommended that I come see you and just talk to you about what's going on and see if you can help me somehow move forward.
Well, I definitely want to help you with that. I do want to say that we won't be able to discuss and unpack everything in our first session, but I do kind of want to lay that groundwork with you. Um, so you said it was a normal day. Were there any signs that you noticed before your son committed?
So, here's the thing. In the weeks after it happened, I would have told you and everyone else that asked me that I didn't see the signs. I didn't see any signs that anything was wrong. But as I've had a little bit more time to reflect on it and really kind of just peel back all of the layers of the onion and kind of unpack everything over, maybe the last year or two, I can tell you that I started to notice my son kind of disengaging from his friends, the kids that would have come over in the past and hung out with him in the afternoons. A lot of times I would come home and cook dinner for all of them. In the last 3 or 4 months before my son's death, those friends, weren't coming around as much. And I also, now again that I've had time to process it, I think that my son got really heavily engaged in video games and was just isolating a lot in his room playing video games. And to this day, I'm not exactly sure what he was playing or, if that had anything to do with some of the negative thoughts that he started to have.
Okay, so leading up to your son committing suicide, what was you guys' relationship like? Walk me through that dynamic.
Yeah, so we've had a really close relationship, but when I didn't work when he was younger, and I made a decision to go back to work when he went into his freshman year in high school. and our relationship changed. So we were really close while, when he was growing up. And, I had I was able to spend a lot of time with him because I didn't have a job that I needed to go to. So I was there when he left for school in the morning. I was there when he came home in the afternoon. And his freshman year in high school, so he was 14, um, you know, I wasn't there in the afternoons. I made a decision to go to work, and he became a child that had to let himself in the afternoon, and he was alone in the afternoon. So our relationship did change. I tried to help him to see that, I didn't think, I feel any differently about him just because I was starting, to go back to work. But I just, again, as I kind of look back over the last few years, I think that he just kind of pulled away. And so we didn't have as close of a relationship at the time of his death as we did when he was younger.
So you did say that even though you did decide to go back to work, you explained to him, why you need to go back to work and that your emotions didn't change towards him. So what else, in your opinion, do you think that you could have done to prevent this?
I don't know. I just, that's what I'm questioning, over and over in my mind. Is there something that I could have done to prevent it? And did I ask him enough questions about, what was going on with him and, schoolwork? Was I checking, I was just kind of letting him, be a high school student. And he didn't seem that like he really wanted to, to spend as much time with me once he got into high school. So I wanted to let him, have some autonomy and grow up and not have his mom looking over his shoulder every second.
Which is completely understandable, but it looks like you did everything that you could have done. The fact that you're not able to fathom or think about what could I have done kind of shows me and tells me that you've done everything that you could have. um, I want to kind of segue into, you said you're visualizing this moment over and over. um,
Yes. Yeah.
so are you dreaming about this moment?
I am, yes. I'm dreaming about it, and I just can't get that vision out of my mind of what I saw the day that I walked into the garage and saw him and, with blood all over him and blood all over the floor. And it's just horrific. And it's in my dreams, it's in my waking hours. I can't stop thinking about that that vision of him, that picture of him.
So when those thoughts come to mind, and when you have those dreams, how do you cope with those things? What do you do?
Um, Good question. I just cry. I just curl up in a ball and cry. I don't really have any tools to deal with the sadness and the horrific event that's happened. I don't have any tools to deal with it.
So what I would recommend, and I'm going to give you a homework assignment. So as you go on through the day, you'll never forget that moment. But sometimes in our dreams, it's how we process what we can't process during the day, or how we discuss with ourselves what we can't really handle during the day. So what I would encourage you to do is keep a journal beside your bed. Keep a journal with you during the day. And when you feel those emotions, don't run from those emotions. Don't try to block out those emotions. Really give yourself time to sit in those emotions, and keep your dream journal beside your bed, so when you wake up, you can write down your dream and say, hey, today I noticed something different in my dream, or yesterday it was less intense, today it's more intense. So you can kind of track how you're emotionally processing this grief, because grief is complex. No one grieves the same, and how you grieve is going to be completely singled and individualized to you. I just want to kind of help you facilitate that process. You also talked about being angry. Where does the anger stem from?
I think that the anger I'm mad at him. You know, like I'm just angry at him. Like, how, how could he do this to me? How could he have done this to our family? We're the ones that he's gone. And so whatever pain that he was feeling is no longer there. But now all of that pain is transferred to us. And my life has changed as a result of a horrible decision that my son made. And so I'm mad. I'm mad at him.
And so when you're mad at him, in being mad at him, have you talked to anyone about this? You're angry with him, you're
No, I haven't. This is the first time I'm really, sharing kind of my feelings and what's going on with me.
So, one thing I would recommend is I'm gonna recommend to you and send you some support groups, but I also would recommend you expressing these emotions to your family. But just for a moment, we only have a few minutes. I just want you to stop for a second, close your eyes, and imagine you're in that moment. You're just walking in, you're finding your son, right? And imagine in that moment, he was able to get up and you were able to tell him everything that you felt,
Hmm.
you that anger, that sadness. I want you to express that.
Hmm. That's hard. I just want to, why did you do this to us? Why did you leave us and leave us to deal with all of this?
And I
I,
want you,
I just want him back.
and I do understand. And that's something that, once again, you will grow around. You will never fully get over the fact that your son's here, that piece is not missing. That piece is always going to be missing. However, I want you to understand that even though that piece is missing, you can still find ways to remember him and to move forward. Um, that's my homework assignment for you. I want you to sit, when you get some time, sit and journal those emotions that you're feeling. So at our next session, we can talk about them and process them. And I also want you to sit down with yourself before, even when I'm not here, and really talk to your son and imagine him speaking back to you, even if he's not saying what you want to hear.
Okay.
Yes, I just want to thank you. I know we're running out of time, but set up another appointment with me and we can continue processing your emotions.
Thank you so much, Ashanti. This really helped me today.
Thank you.
Hi, Ashanti. I'm Suzanne Darwala, and I'm so glad to meet you today. I have been assigned as your counselor in the home that you're staying in, and I hope that we can, get to know each other and really, process some of the feelings that I know that you're having related to a situation with your late husband. So I would love to just talk with you about that today and hear a little bit more about it. Just to let you know, we have just a short time to talk today for our first session. The next session, we'll be able to spend more time together. So we'll see, we'll try to make a little progress today, but let's just use today to kind of get to know each other, and kind of lay the land and get to know what the situation is that you're dealing with. And hopefully I can give you some suggestions that maybe you can take, and maybe put into practice before our next session where we'll have more time to spend together. Okay.
Okay.
So tell me a little bit about what happened with your husband.
Honestly, ma'am, I just want to be with my husband. It's like one minute everything was fine. I was in my home, with my husband. We were living life, and then he got sick, and I lost him. And then the next thing I know, I'm in a home. My family is hours away on the coast, and I'm here by myself, processing this by myself in a nursing home, surrounded by people who don't know me, who don't love me, and all I want to be is back with my husband.
Oh, it sounds like y'all had a beautiful relationship. How long were you married?
We're married 65 years.
Wow. Wow. So you got married really young, and he's been the love of your life, it sounds like.
he was the only person I ever knew, the only man I ever knew. He paid the bills, he took out the trash. He was just everything. And now I have nothing. I have nothing to live for.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. And I just want you to know that I'm so grateful that we have a chance, to share together because, let me tell you, that what you're experiencing and the feelings that you're experiencing are not unique to you, Ashanti. So, the feelings of grief that you're having and the sadness and not wanting to be here anymore, and just wanting to be with your husband, all of those are really, really normal. And grief, all grief is, it's just simply a response. It's an emotional response to a significant loss in our lives. And so, it's not a unique response, but it's a response that you're feeling, that a whole lot of other people have felt, as well. But what I want to work with you on is to see if we can get you to a place where, number one, that you're wanting to continue to live your life, because um, I want to hear a little bit about your family, because although I know that your husband meant the world to you, and you want to be with him, it sounds like you've got a family as well, that is part of your legacy. And so I would love to hear a little bit about your family and where they are, and and do you have grandchildren or great grandchildren at this point?
Well, I do have grandchildren and great grandchildren. I have two sons and a daughter. They all live in California. My son actually just got back home from the military. He wasn't even here when his father passed. Um, I have a plethora, about a good eight grandchildren, and about four great grandchildren. I love them. They are my world, but it was like my husband, even though I raised my children, of course, being at home with them, but it's like my husband, he was the glue. He kept us together, once they went to college and, began their adult lives, he would be planning Thanksgiving dinners and Christmas dinners and keeping up with birthdays and keeping up with anniversaries. And it's like now that he's gone, it's like, I don't even know how I'm going to do all of that and maintain all of those relationships, by myself.
And let me ask you this, Ashanti, are those relationships important to you? I mean, are your relationships with your children and grandchildren, are those important? Do you wanna maintain those? If you could find a way to like pull the family together, would you want to be able to do that?
Yes, I would love to be closer to my family. I would love to be able to see them every day or once a week. But that's not, where we are right now.
Yeah, yeah. So and completely understand. But it does sound like that there are some really good reasons to continue your wonderful life and your legacy that you and your husband formed together, that you made together. These children and and your grandchildren, that is your legacy. That's two generations of legacy that, where your husband will continue to live on through them. And so what I want you to see is the value that you have to continue that legacy as well. And I totally understand how it might be overwhelming to think about, well, you can't be the person at this point that's trying to, get the family together and all of that. They're all living their lives and they're not in the same, even the same state that you're in. And so it's going to be difficult. But one thing that I would ask you, to consider doing, and a suggestion that I would want to make to you, is to talk to your daughter. You said you had two sons and a daughter. Which one is your daughter, which one are you closest to? Would you say that you're closest to out of the three?
Yeah, I'm closest to my daughter, growing
Okay,
up in a
okay.
house of boys.
Okay, yeah. So I would say, yeah, if you could, maybe before we meet next, I would love to kind of give you a little homework assignment to give your daughter a call and let her know, the feelings that you're having, and and tell her that you just need to express those feelings, because Ashanti, that's part of like moving through the process of grief, is being able to freely express what we're feeling to the people around us that will love us and support us. So your daughter may not even have any idea that you're having these feelings. And so I really, really want to encourage you to call her and share with her, tell her that you're seeing a counselor, and that the counselor has made a suggestion for you to call her and just share some of the feelings that you're having, so that your daughter's aware. I think that'll be important, that that you kind of circle her in, so that you do feel like you have some support from your family, even though she's not in the same place that you're in. At least she knows that that you need her a little bit more than maybe she's even aware that you need her. So I would ask that you do that. Does that sound like something that you could do, and between now and when we meet the next time?
Yeah, I think I can manage that, giving her a call,
Okay,
letting her know how I'm feeling.
good, good. Um, Also, I think, one of the things that is really difficult about losing somebody that you spent so many years with is just holding on to those memories, because those memories will sustain you, and you'll have, and those memories are wonderful memories, that sounds like, that you and your husband have had together. And so one of the things that I would suggest as well, and something that I think we can kind of start talking about and working through over the next few sessions, is putting together a memory book, and really taking some time where you can, start looking through some old pictures, and some, if you saved programs from plays or things that you guys have done together, but start putting together a book that is something that you can keep with you, in the home that you're in the nursing home, where you can open it at any time, and draw back all of those wonderful memories that you've had with your husband. So that's one thing that I'm going to suggest to you, that we start working on, and I can help you gather the materials, and I can work with the nursing home to make sure that you have the materials that you need to start that memory book. And if you would start kind of like thinking about, like, where are the pictures that you have, and how could you gather all of that together? And maybe that's something that your daughter might want to help you with as well, just as you start to, kind of embark on that journey of creating the memory book. Something else, is there, another thing that might help is there anything that you want to say to your husband that you feel like is left unsaid?
Um, I just want to know, like, is he okay?
Yeah.
Honestly, is
Yeah.
he okay? Where is he? Is he in heaven with God like we prayed?
Yeah.
I just want to know that he's okay and that he's waiting for me there.
Oh, I think that's beautiful. I think that's one thing that we'll do at our next session, um, where it's something that we call in counseling the empty chair technique, and we'll do a little bit of role playing, and you'll have a chance to talk to your husband, in the empty chair, and I think that's going to be real helpful for you to have a conversation with him. The other thing, Ashanti, that I want to ask, that you start doing is, do you journal at all? Do you keep a journal of thoughts that you have, or?
No, I don't. I don't. I
Okay.
really just keep them inside.
Okay, yeah. So I'm going to ask that you get a journal, and I can help ask the nursing home if they can help set you up with one. But I think having a journal, and keeping it by your bedside, and if there's something that you think about, that you want to, number one, the journal can be some thoughts that you might have of things that you want to talk to me about at our next session. So that's one thing that I want to use the journal for, so that you can kind of keep track of the different feelings that you're having in between sessions, so we can talk through all of that. But the other thing that I want you to use the journal for is, um, I want you to just start, um, kind of writing down the beautiful things that you remember about your husband. And I want to talk about that. I want to process that. And what I believe will start to happen, Ashanti, is you start to kind of journal about all of those wonderful memories. I think it's going to be hard. I think there'll be a lot of tears that come as you start remembering some of this, but what that might draw upon is it might bring out some dreams about your husband, and you might be able to actually have some conversations with your husband in your dreams. And so I want to kind of like get that process started and working. And I think journaling might help us to kind of get there. So that's the other thing that I'm going to ask you to do, is just to keep a blank journal by your bed. And when you think of, and start, throughout the day, as you think about some wonderful memories, jot those down. Any questions that you want to ask me or feelings that you want to share about with me at our next session, I want you to put those in the journal. And then let's just kind of see where that takes us as we move through our counseling sessions together.
Well, thank you. That memory book is really something I never thought to do. It's really beautiful. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. And then the last thing, Ashanti, and I know we're running out of time, but the last thing that I want to share with you is, although you're not with your family in the nursing home, I know, because I've talked to the nursing home director, there's a lot of really neat activities that the nursing home puts on to really kind of give you guys some great things to get involved in. I know there's just like, if you took, you could choose to be really bored there and not have anything to do, or you could just get involved in a lot of things. There's prayer groups, if that's something that you're interested in. There's Bible studies that you could participate in. There's a game night. I don't know if you were aware of that, but every Friday night there's a game night there. And so I think, one of the things I'm going to start encouraging you to do as we work through our counseling sessions is to maybe pick one activity a week to engage in, so that, because I think, maybe you're never going to be in the same location with your sons or your daughter, and we may not be able to bring the family together physically, but you're in a great home that has a lot of different activities, and there's a lot of people there at the home, and some of them may have very similar stories to yours, and some of them may need a friend as well. And I think so making friends there, maybe getting involved in some of the activities, learning a new skill, something that you've maybe never, something that you've always wanted to do but never had time to learn how to do it, crochet, needlework, all of those kinds of things. I think we can start taking advantage of the home that you're in, and let's start taking advantage of some of the activities that they've got for you there. So that's something that you and I can work with over the coming weeks.
Well, yes. I've been kind of cooped up in my room, and I didn't think about it. I can have a family here too.
Awesome. Yes, exactly. Well, Ashanti, I think we're about out of time. I'm so excited to have the opportunity to work with you over the next few weeks, couple of months. As long as you need me, I'm going to be here, and I want to walk with you every step of the way. When I hear you share about your family, I think there's so much legacy there, and I want you all to have the chance I want your children and your grandchildren to have the chance to spend as much time with you as they can, before the end of your life comes. And so let's figure out how to live out those years in a really incredible way, and let's do that together.
Well, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.